Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Dorton and Doetkott Debate Podcast. This is episode 76. I am Lucas Dorton, the man with the Lakers shirt on, an absolute abomination wearing that on this podcast, knowing I'm a Nuggets fan. Just the gall, the gall. But, Nick Doetkott, we have another guest, folks. We have another guest. He's far more handsome than the both of us combined. He shares a name with myself and someone, probably the most popular name on the team.
Yes.
I'm definitely the lesser of the three, but that's okay. That's okay. I like to just roll along with it anyways. We have Luke Dose joining the show to talk some Townball today. Luke, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
No problem.
Absolutely. We gotta expand the Townball talk. Having Shane on a couple weeks ago was a great time. So I was like, you know what? Let's expand it a litll bit more. See what we can get going here. So we'll just roll into it. So Luke, I got a couple questions for you. First one, growing up, I'm assuming Minnesota Twins fan for the people watching. Okay. Who is your guy? Did you have a guy growing up, favorite player on the Twins of all time?
I always kind of went by because my dad wore 25. So, growing up, I didn't really pay attention to the Twins till probably, that 08, 09. So, my guy for a little bit there was Alexi Casilla.
Oh, okay.
And then it was Jim Thome because he was fun to watch. But, I always admired Joe Mauer and how he played the game and how respectful he was and stuff like that. I did love Carlos Gomez, though, too. He was fun.
Okay.
Well, Gomez and Casilla didn't Casilla hit Gomez in for the winning run in Game 163? Yeah. I thought.
I think being from Colorado, that was my very first ever Twins memory. I don't remember anything else that happened in the game, but I remember Gomez diving into home at the end to win it in the old dome.
That was a fun one. Up until this year, we had like the 19 years in a row without a playoff win or whatever, but that was basically our playoff win. That felt like one, so we at least had that.
We'll take it. So now, who do you have a favorite non-Twins player of all time? Who's your favorite non-Twins player?
Oh, gosh. All time?
Putting you on the spot a little bit here.
I kind of, this is bad for a Twins fan to say, but I kind of liked A-Rod. I don't know.
I thought you were going to like Griffey.
No, I liked A-Rod. Just sucked that if he never played for the Yankees, I'd really love him, but...
I love A-Rod as like an announcer and whatnot. He's good.
He was such a good hitter, good defensive player, I don't know.
Well, he was the best shortstop on the Yankees, but they had basically made him play third.
A-Rod.
Saw juiced up A-Rod's hitting nukes. You're like, this is my guy.
He didn't even need the juice.
He didn't.
That's true.
A-Rod, huh?
It's true. Anyone else come to mind for you?
I've always liked Verlander as a pitcher.
Sure.
He's always been a kind of a dog. Gets the job done. Doesn't matter. He's 40 years old and still getting it done?
40.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Good for him. His wife, that helps.
Yeah. I think I'd be able to roll it out there at 42 if Kate Upton was my wife. So that's fair. That's fair. Anyway, so we'll just get right into it here a little bit. So for those of you who do not know, like I mentioned last time, we talked a little Townball with Shane Olson of the Arlington A's. That is Nick and I's and Luke's team too. So we're going to have another A's player here, Luke, joining us, like I mentioned before, if you missed the first part of it. So we'll dive into it. So time on the A's. So how long have you been a member of the Arlington A's for?
As a player, this will be my 6th year already. Dang, and then, gosh, I bat boyed for probably 10 years. Maybe like 8 years. I don't even know. I bat boyed for a long time.
Are you probably Bat Boy Hall of Fame, I guess, huh?
I might be up there. I don't know. I was there for a while.
Bat Boy Hall of Fame.
I still remember Deco's first game.
Really?
Well, that was gonna be my next question. First impressions of Nick on the team.
Oh God.
I don't really know. I always knew Nick when I was younger from St. Paul's and stuff like that. But I remember it was the High Life tournament, wasn't it? Was that your first game?
Yeah.
And all the guys, so we weren't supposed to play in the game. I was there, bat boying, or in the dugout for some reason, and they just pulled Deco basically off the street that day. He was playing right field, and I still vividly remember it was so the field flooded that day.
Yeah, it was
There's
wet.
pop
Nice.
flat at right field, and he caught it, and he skid 10 feet on just his feet.
Yeah, it was sopping wet.
Oh man, that's funny. Nick, do you remember that pretty vividly too?
Yeah, I was. Oh my God, I was like 13 or something like that. My brother was on the team, so I was already there watching and whatnot. And they're like, "Hey, we need a guy. You want to play?" I'm like, "Sure." And I go
Am I frozen on your screen too?
Yeah, you are.
We don't have the picture, but we can still hear you.
And
it just has me smiling on my thing.
Yeah, good thing you got a good.
That's all right. We still can hear you, so we're good over here.
I'll turn video off quick and then see if it works again.
So yeah, Nick, what year is this for you, man?
Huh?
What year is this for you?
Oh my God! Like, how long have I been on the A's?
Yeah.
My junior year, 15. I think my first year was 2015. So I'm on like year 9 or 10 already.
Man, getting old.
Yeah, I know. My God. I can't believe I've played that long, but yeah, 9 or 10 years.
So what was your
technically been signed for like I said, my first game was when I was like 13.
Yeah.
I've technically been signed for half my life, 13 years.
Getting close to retirement soon.
Yeah, I'd say. Do I get a pension or something?
You should. You probably should.
All those home runs allowed had to have earned me something.
So what was your first impressions of Luke when he first started? First time as an A?
Well, I mean, I knew who Luke was, obviously, but to be honest, I hadn't. Most of the guys, Luke's grade and younger, I hadn't watched play much, so I was just going at what I heard. I'm like, well, I know Luke's good. Let's see, and pitching, honestly, I'm like, yeah, this dude throws strikes. He's definitely done this a time or two. And then I don't remember. Luke, you must have played right, like outfield originally, I think, right?
Like growing up, you saying?
So, like when you first started on the A's, were you in the outfield, or did he have you at third right away?
Yeah, he had me in the outfield mostly, just kind of playing everywhere.
So, like, but like once you got moved to third, I'm like, yeah, okay, this guy needs to stay here and not me. Luke's got a good arm from third and is accurate. But yeah, right away, the first time I seen a pitch, I'm like, yeah, this kid throws strikes. It's gonna be nice to have this. So.
Got to throw strikes.
Lucas, how many pitches did you have against St. Peter?
Was it 74?
That's insane. A 74 pitch
complete game. I'm trying to figure out this video here for you. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. I can't even get my camera back on.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. It's just unfortunate now I just have to look at Nick, so can't win them all, I guess.
This is why you don't use Skype. Who uses Skype?
Yeah, that's fair. That's all right. Can't get the video rolling. No worries. So Luke, I want you to talk to me a little bit about the family ties that you have to the Arlington A's. Obviously, the Dose name runs pretty deep into the veins of A-Town.
Oh, man. All right. So Grandpa was part of the board way back in the day. Actually, the outfield grass is my great-grandfather's meadow or pasture, something like that in Arlington when they first built the park.
Really?
That's his sod brought in, yes. Then some of those trees planted in the outfield, I think in right field mostly. My grandpa Leon helped plant those. And Dad and Chad were out there watering with them, I know for sure. So all three uncles played on the team as well. Dad played for, they were our whole outfield. It was Craig in center, and my dad, Scott in right, and then Chad in left. And then Dad played for 20 years. Chad probably played for 20 years as well. And then Craig just retired when my dad did, so he probably played 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
And what about right now? You got a few connections now too.
Oh yeah, I guess we got me, Caleb, my cousin, that's Chad's son, and then my younger brother Leighton. He's on there as well.
Okay. How is it? I mean, it's just got to be just a different sense of pride, kind of, with you, like just having those connections.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a lot of pressure living up to the hype. You know, they were good, and now you got to come and fill in the role and try and get back to where they were back in the day. And I mean, we're getting better every step, and
yeah,
I mean, this was a good year. We just can't win a playoff game right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, I imagine, yeah, that probably has to be a decent amount of pressure. And I'm sure you've probably found ways, though, throughout the years to kind of, I mean, I don't know if you necessarily ever can just get rid of it fully, but like maybe different ways to manage it. And obviously, I mean, you've been doing your thing here for how long now, and pretty reliable person, you know, on the A's. Definitely need you out there. I'm sure you've found different ways to help out with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just try and do the best I can and not get too caught up in it. And I'm trying to fill the shoes of Doetkott too. He's a big slugger, and I'm just trying to keep up with him, trying to beat his home run record.
Yeah, you know, I did have the team's only one a couple years ago, and now since then, I think Luke's like, yeah, step out of here. I'm gonna hit nukes now.
Well, I got to say, that was one of my first ever Townball games that was ever there. Nick hits a absolute no-doubter nuke off the scoreboard, and I'm like, this guy's the greatest baseball player I've ever seen in my life.
Literally, when I hit it, I'm like, dude, this is like one of the first games Lucas has ever watched me play. He probably thinks I'm really good. But
oh, man.
It's not the case.
Good stuff.
But, you know, get lucky every once in a while.
So a little bit about the positions that you play. So you dabble on the mound, dabble at third base, dabble in first base. Where did that come from? Have you always kind of been a utility type player, or is it just something that, you know, as the further you get on in your baseball career, you've kind of been asked to handle a little bit more just because you can do it?
Growing up all the time, I kind of played shortstop mostly. And then I kind of got to the age where, you know, everyone kind of played shortstop, and you got to find a different spot. And then I realized, you know, Caleb's a little better at shortstop than I am, so I got to find a different place. And then I was tall, so I got moved to first base. I played there all the time. Probably my junior year, sophomore and junior year is kind of when I shifted there. And then I always played third base too. Then just kind of tried outfield and stuff, and that's just kind of play everywhere, wherever you need me. And then I'm starting to try catching, but, you know, I don't know what the knee is.
Yeah, dude, it's hard.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, what, so as far as like, if you had to pick one position, like I'm playing this every day in a perfect world, obviously in a perfect scenario, which, I mean, you're never going to get with playing a sport. You're going to get asked to do a lot of different things. But perfect world, where do you feel like you thrive at the most?
Probably first base. I don't know. It's more relaxing there. All you gotta do is catch the ball most of the time. And third base is tough, especially in Arlington. It gets on you quick. Not much to react over there.
Yeah, no, third is tough.
Yeah, that's why I don't play it.
You hold down the fort pretty well over there at third. It's funny. It used to be an all-dose outfield, and now it's just an all-dose left side of the infield.
Yeah.
They're just moving in.
So on the mound, I think one of your signature pitches definitely is that go-to splitter that you have. When
Yes.
was that something that you is that just a pitch you've always kind of had in the arsenal, or is that something that, last couple years you kind of had to develop that, or where did that come from? Because not a lot of people throw that really.
I don't even know how to.
So my dad threw a fork ball. So I was probably kind of got it from that. So I was like 16 or 17. And, I realized, I'm never going to throw 90 miles an hour and strike everybody out with a fastball. So let's figure out how to get something else. So I worked with like a changeup here and there. Couldn't control it. And then my dad told me about the fork ball, split finger, whatever. So I started messing around with that. And we were playing in a Legion tournament. And I forget who we were playing, and Scott Holmquist, used to play for the A's, was the catcher, and he's like, you know what, just try and throw it. And I threw it, and it dropped, and it moved, and it would get outs and ground balls, and it was like, whatever, let's go. And then just slowly developed, learned how to like put it deeper in my hand, different grips on the ball too, get more drop, slow it down, speed it up. So yeah, trial and error, basically.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is with most pitches for sure that people are trying to figure out. You just got to keep tossing it. Obviously, I would say warm-ups, when you're playing catch, it's the best time to practice it for sure. But I mean, it's a great pitch. Don't ever get rid of it. I'm sure you weren't thinking about it, but shoot, if
No.
anyone was telling you to,
So
don't
how many
listen.
pitches you throw, Luke?
Basically just fastball, two fastball, whatever is feeling good that day. Fastball, four seam or two seam, that split finger, and then like curveball, slider type of deal. I don't know, whatever way it moves.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have a lot of options to go to for sure. Especially in Townball, you're usually not seeing a whole ton of different types of pitches. So I think the more you have definitely makes you that much more valuable, tougher to hit for sure. So we appreciate it on the A's that you have that rolling too. So kind of a little bit more on your time with the A's. What I think for you, what's been your most exciting moment, or something that 50 years from now when you have grandkids, you're like, yeah, this moment right now, stands out to me the most of your time. If you have something, or maybe you have a couple things, which would be great.
Probably that first home run in Arlington. That was pretty fun. Just the reaction from the dugout. That was the team's first home run in Arlington in a long time too.
I don't even remember the last one before that.
I don't either. Even from like coming to games, watching that was fun. That was just a good reaction forever.
And good old Fish Salmon's team.
We won that consolation thing, and it was like the best thing ever too. Adi was so happy.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Either that or probably.
Did you know you hit it? Did you know it was gone?
I hadn't hit a home run since like 8th grade. So and I've hit so many that like feel so good off the bat and then bang off the wall. So when I hit it, I was like, holy cow, that got out of the infield kind of quick. And then I was watching, and all of a sudden there it goes up the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for those of you listening, if you haven't come to Arlington, it's not easy to get one out either. I mean, that's definitely no easy task to happen. So that was pretty sweet.
Arlington is basically a major league field as far as dimensions, except for center, but it's still 388 in center. But 338 in left and 340 in right is average to above average major league corner outfield. So it's a healthy poke.
Deco, did you know that those dimensions are also counted up the fence too? So it's like 330, probably 330, and then you count how tall the fence is too. That's how you do the dimensions for it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Huh. I had no idea.
That makes sense though, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to hit it that far to get it out, I
Plus-
guess. I don't know. My
plus
dad was
over.
telling me about that.
So like it's actually only 330 to the foul pole essentially, but the height of the fence you'd have
Yeah,
like
I think so. Yeah, I think that's how it goes.
interesting. Huh.
What about anything else? Any other things that come up to you as far as being kind of like big time notable moments for you?
I got a good moment when I was little bat boying. So my dad, if you don't know him, kind of a hothead back in the day, playing. But he's competitive. But
Yeah.
I remember there was a pitch. I don't know if it was a ball or strike. I was too little to remember, but the ump called it a strike. And Dad turns around, starts yelling at the ump, gets back in the box. Next pitch, hits it halfway up the trees in Arlington, and I'll never forget that one.
Did he say anything when he got back home?
No, he never really. He was a completely different guy on the field and off the field. On the field, if you were playing against him, oh my gosh, you probably hated him. And then as soon as he got off the field, you're like, oh my God, this guy's actually a nice guy.
It was like
that's just
that Jordan mentality, man. But no, when the first teams that I watched, like when I watched A's games to the point I could actually remember, it was the Doses in the outfield, and Scott was always, I believe, the 3-hitter. Right? I think your dad and your two uncles were batted 1, 2, 3. I think if I remember correctly too. And Scott got hurt, and Scott was good. He was good. I still remember. I think it was one playoff game. I think he had a couple extra base hits and a home run, and one was a key one at the end. And a lot of times I did more chasing foul balls and playing pickle in the middle and whatnot than actually watching the game. But I still remember plenty of Scott Dose well hit balls, and he was no scrub, that's for sure. I don't remember your dad pitching that much though, to be honest. I know he did, but
he hurt his shoulder when he was probably mid 30, like 32, 33, blew out the rotator cuff, so then he didn't throw that much.
Yeah, I probably didn't actually see him pitch that much then.
He said the fork ball wrecked his shoulder, so.
Oh, really?
See if it does that for me, too.
No, hope not.
I don't throw quite as hard as he did.
Yeah.
So you mentioned
nobody throws as hard as Dorton over here, though.
No.
Shoot. I mean,
got the natural sink to his ball.
People certainly say a lot of things about my pitching. I don't think throwing hard is any of those things, but thanks.
Oh, right.
I'll take it. I'll run with it. I'll let people think that, and then they
only you
40
throw
miles
3
an hour
hitters
left.
against Prior Lake, so
that's true. I just got to have Mitch Wenslaff set the line for me, and then I know what I have to shoot for.
You're the only A with a 10-run rule shutout against Prior Lake.
Shout out Mitch Wenslaff.
That's right. Yeah, the real MVP. Yep. That's like I said. I mean, we mentioned it last time when Shane was on the show, but it was like, I mean, like I said, like for me, like I haven't played a ton of teams just being from Colorado initially. So like, yeah, like maybe that works to my benefit of like, okay, I don't know how this team is, but someone's like, yeah, like they usually score 100 runs a game. And then I don't know. I just kind of went into the game with the mindset like, yeah, I mean, I just might get shelled today, but like they do that. So like, whatever.
You didn't even know you were pitching till you got there, right?
Yeah, no, I think I was shagging balls in the outfield, and Reiki is like, "You're pitching." I'm like, "Sick." And no, it was fun though. It was a really fun game. It was a really fun game for sure. I was the only one I was gonna be able to play in because I was gone the whole rest of the weekend. But we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, we should have made a championship, but I pooched it the next game. Oh well.
Can't win them all.
Yeah.
We can't win them all.
That's right. So talk to me a little bit. So you mentioned kind of towards the beginning of the podcast here about the number. So you had a number change I believe last year from the year before. Is that correct? You were 55 and then you moved to 25?
Yeah, I wanted 25, but Michael Bullard couldn't find it. He says he couldn't find it I think he wanted to make a comeback. But so I just took whatever number was given to me at that point. But then every now and then I'd ask, "Hey, you got that jersey? You got that jersey?" Then he finally found it for me. Yeah. Now I'm 25.
Your dad wore 25, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that why you wear 25 then, is because of your dad?
Yeah, basically.
That's awesome. Oh, that's cool.
That's really if we had number 13, I'd be that for A-Rod. But 13 is retired.
Okay.
What's that?
13's retired?
Yeah, I think Jim O'Brien.
Oh, nice. I didn't
It used
even
to hang on the fence there in the outfield. They took that down though.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a number change as well, like 2 years ago. See, Luke Delson and I, we know how to get the jersey sales rolling. Once they sell out the original jersey, get the next.
Yeah, you gotta get
numbers.
You gotta upgrade.
It's good for business, Lucas.
Yeah. Did you have to buy out all the other jerseys of yours from the Townball shop? So
had to buy out all the number 10s just to switch to 3. It was a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
I used most of my salary.
Yeah, I bet that was probably a tough one for you to front. I'm sure you had the money laying in the center console of your car with your car unlocked at any moment, though. Anyway, so speaking of jerseys, we got a little bit of a new jersey design this year, folks. And Luke, you kind of were the forefront of that. So where did that idea come from to bring that up?
So the blue jerseys that we had were horrible.
Yeah,
they were way overdue. They're probably 25 years old. Didn't fit anybody. But we talked about new jerseys, and like as players, we kind of have to design them and do all that dirty work, and then bring it to the board, and because they have the funds and stuff like that. So, and we always talked about it for the last 3 years, and I just said, screw it, I'm just gonna go do it. So I contacted Rawlings. They sent me this jersey designer and designed them up. And then I heard somebody say, let's put the A train on it. And I was like, that's a great idea. So on the jerseys on the back neck, there's the A train on it. And then just says Arlington across the chest. And then A's on I think the left sleeve, right sleeve. I can't remember. One of the sleeves. But they're new blue.
Seeing if I can find a picture.
Yeah, no, those that was a fantastic design. That was I'm super excited to sport those. Maybe those are our Field of Dream uniforms that we wear. That'd be pretty sweet. Debut those.
Yeah, sure. There's
I want to get a new one, I think, but I don't.
Baby Blues up in the works.
Yeah.
What's up in the works?
Baby Blues.
Wait, really, dude? I love baby blue.
But we got gray pants. How do you make that work?
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
New pants.
New pants. Deco's yours will be brown. You never wash your jersey.
I go through like 3 pairs of pants every year too, because they get holes in them.
Yeah, rip holes in them 2 games in.
My pants last 2 games, and then they're just destroyed.
Well, you're getting dirty. You can respect that.
What do you do? Gotta do something. Look like you played.
Yes. That's fair. Maybe I should start doing that. Just start throwing dirt on my jersey so when I come home, I can tell people I played.
Just start sliding on the warning track or something.
Yeah, something like that. That's okay. So mentioning the field a little bit, you and your cousin Caleb Dose are kind of not kind of. I mean, you are the 2 main people that really know at the end of the day what's going on with that. Now, obviously, I didn't know about your grandpa having the ties with the field and stuff that he did. So is that kind of where that sense of pride comes from? Kind of just quarterbacking the the field is from that, or is that just something you've kind of always enjoyed, or maybe a little bit of both?
Mostly, yeah, just that sense of pride of all the work that they put in. And then, when they retired and it almost felt like it got neglected. It obviously didn't. I know people put in a lot of work, but like it didn't look like what it used to look like. So now it's just the pride of trying to get it back to what it looked like. They do those rankings or whatever, and we were pretty low this year. So, but yeah, we've made some good upgrades, and me and Caleb aren't the only ones. Like, don't knock anybody else. I know Nathan Thomas puts a lot of work out there.
Yeah.
And Uddy's out there all the time. I know he's not on the team anymore, but he's on the board. He's out there. Mitchell Wenslow's out there all the time. Lucas Bullard.
Yep.
You guys have been out there. And then all the help we had for all that sod work too. It's just like it's different in Arlington because, some teams they can just show up, play the game, and they have somebody to take care of the field. I'm not going to name names of anybody. I'm not going to start any feuds. I know a few teams that way, but
I think I know one.
But, it's just that, like, playing in Arlington, it's part of the fieldwork's part of the team. And, yeah, just a sense of pride of all the connections that we've had with the park.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a group effort for sure. You don't get a field to look that nice without people trying. So it's great stuff. One of these days, maybe we'll get that state bid, host some state games. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, if we just throw our name in there, we'd get it. They told us that already, but we don't like to throw our name in, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's fair. So let's talk a little bit about last season. Obviously, was a ton of fun. The bats were very hot. The bats were very, very hot for, yes, I mean, like probably 95% of the season, and we're really just cooking. So walk me through last year, kind of how things went, and then obviously the tough losses there, towards the end of the season.
Well, we kind of, it was a 500 year, I think, last year, and we played every team pretty tough, which is pretty different for, Arlington baseball the last 10 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, credit to Caleb. I think he batted 500 this year.
Unbelievable.
Just nuts. He was on base almost every time. It was ridiculous.
He had 35 singles or something like that?
Yeah, he had 39 hits and 35 singles. Just a young Arias.
He's going to hit bombs pretty soon.
Then the pitching, what kind of helped was defense too. Usually we just have errors and errors and errors, and finally we're starting to play better defense and have a full, confident squad out there in the field. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember how we started last year. I know we got hot there in the middle. I think we beat Gaylord.
Yep.
And then that one Gaylord one was tough because we came back and lost the Bell playing pretty badly. Yeah. But it was that second time when we beat Gaylord. We beat St. Peter right after that too, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, we came back ninth in that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't win in St. Peter very often, so that was nice.
I mean, it was kind of a roller coaster season. We had good moments, bad moments. And then the playoffs when we lose 8-1 to St. Peter and then 1-0. The bats just kind of went away there for a little bit, but it's something to improve on for next year.
Yep. Yeah.
Losing on a steal at home was kind of tough, but what do you do? That was a heck of a play by Pengilly.
I almost like playing better on the road. I get tired after doing all that field work for you, Deco.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
I bet my home away. If we did home away splits, I think my average would be way higher away. I'm not even kidding you.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, some of it is might be the first at bat in Arlington's a little tough sometimes.
It is those first two at bats. Yeah, if you're top of the order, those first two at bats are terrible. The shadows, it goes sun, shadow again.
A lot of times you guys would always talk about, I'm like, what are these guys what are these guys talking about? And then there was like one game I batted towards the top, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, I see what they're talking about. Yeah, I can definitely tell now.
Wasn't a struggle for Caleb though. It never didn't matter to him.
Which and sometimes it's no big deal, but like all of a sudden you get a guy throwing pretty good, and it's like, ooh, it takes a while to pick this ball up, and I don't got much time to begin with. This is tough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But pretty soon those trees will be in, hopefully. So
yeah,
that is.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you mentioned that stood out to me was the defensive side of things. I think from what I have noticed in the short time that I've been here is that there's kind of been there's sometimes when a snowball effect, right? We see it all the time in sports. One error happens, and then someone else starts overthinking it. Like, I don't want to make an error, and then makes an error, and it just snowballs.
Yeah.
But this year, I mean, we did a really solid job at not letting that snowball and picking each other up when when someone else needed it, which is a massive step to take, I think.
Yeah, usually those innings, we like to call them, Arlington baseball innings for sure. You give up those 6 runs off of 3 errors and like 1 hit. Maybe one of those 6 was earned. We're getting better at that, but we still have those.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
we're just amateurs.
Yep.
Right? We ain't no professionals for a reason.
Yeah.
That's what I remind myself. My God, I make one error and I just let it eat at me, and then I make another one. It's like, just get over it. But it's hard because we expect a lot of ourselves. But
right. Well, and you wanna put on for the city too. For it's good. It's a good song too. But no, I mean, like I mentioned it before, and definitely, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I mean, that's what a lot of people look forward to. I mean, that's what that is their summers, is coming to watch us play baseball. And I mean, not just Arlington, the umpteen amount of different Townball teams that we have. Like, that's what people do during the summer. And so I think it, at 100% adds kind of another sense of pride to it, of like, yeah, we're amateurs, and at the end of the day, we're all going to go back to our 9 to 5 tomorrow for work. But like, in that moment, you want to do well, and you want to, make it count for not just yourself and your teammates, but for the people that are coming out to watch you too. And so I think that's a pretty cool sense of pride that I've found in doing Townball for sure. I don't know about you guys, but
yeah, if you were to like pull a kid from like Chicago or so, I don't know, I just randomly thought of that, and like tell them about Townball, they'd think it's like beer league softball, and you're like, no, we have state tournaments, we have all-star games, we got like, this is serious. Like, this is some of these people, it's life and death. Some of these teams, this is big time.
Yeah, and I mean, Arlington's got we got a pretty good fan base, I'd say. I mean, there's most games, especially our Friday night games, I mean, are definitely more attended than, almost any other of our away games. Our fans are pretty good, and it's nice because it gives you a little, sense of pride and accomplishment when you're playing. And that's why it's like, especially the Gaylord game, it's like, I put a lot of pressure on myself to do good. It's like, you want to win for yourself too, but it's like, these fans that come to watch you want to at least give them something to cheer for, right? And so and it makes it all the better when you actually do play good and end up on top, because you got a lot of fans there who actually put a lot of pride and time out of
and it's bragging rights to, most of those Gaylord boys, they're our friends,
Yeah.
You just want to beat them so bad. And then we're finally been doing it lately, and it's awesome. But, it'll probably come back. We'll lose one here, win one there. But it's always a great game, and we just need to switch that mentality to every game's the Gaylord game. And
if we could just play we play better against Gaylord most of the time. Even in our bad years, we always gave them a fight. If we could just somehow, it's hard. You can't just make yourself have that mentality every game, or at least I don't.
Yeah,
it's hard to. But if you can just go into every game like it's Gaylord, somehow we'd be a really good team,
Sure. See, that's like what Jordan is. That's like their mentality is every game.
Yeah, no off days.
Where you got to get. That's where you got to get a full squad to do that.
But we're getting there, and at least what we can say is, for the most part, we got guys who show up every game. So
yes, that's a big plus.
It'll come.
Yeah. But just to go, to the point that you brought up before about the, pulling some kid from any other state, like, yeah, they're not going to get it. I mean, that was me. Like that was like, we don't have anything even relatively close to Townball in Colorado. I mean, you have like your, Sunday summer league, 50 plus men's league that people play in after church, but like, nobody cares about that. Like, that's not a pride thing. It's just people want to keep playing and no one's going to come watch. But like, yeah, I think, and I think this year too, myself at least, just being able to get a few more opportunities to play, which was, outstanding. That was awesome. I think I really definitely started to kind of grasp that and like really understand what it means. I mean, you can go out there and play, but until you get it, it's tough to grasp that concept. But I love doing it, and I'm grateful that the fans get to come and watch us play. So it's a great time out there. It's a great time. So expectations this year. What are you thinking? What do you think make some steps, build on some things from last year? What are we thinking, Luke?
I think we're gonna be better. What were we, third or fourth in the RVL last year, going in the playoffs, and that's a big step. We should have a couple guys coming in here, and guys are getting older, and I think we'll be better. Hopefully, we'll be better. Field's looking better. But yeah, so my expectations are for sure a winning record. Win more league games. At least try and sneak one out versus every team. Jordan's a little harder there, but
Dorton so bad.
But like that Bell playing, I think we got swept by them. I've yet to beat St. Clair, so we need to get those guys. We've been right there with them.
Yeah.
And then St. Peter, at least Sewer, Gaylord, one or two from each of them. So yeah, that'll help a lot. And then it all, like Deco was saying earlier, it all depends on who shows up, and I feel like we do a good job of that. So it's only going to get better for us.
And just building off of that, about showing up, especially to the league or to the non-league games too. I think everyone can show up to the league games, and that's great. But we have starters and people showing up to the non-league games too, and I think that definitely shows a lot about how, like, yeah, people are going to come and watch the guys that maybe don't get as many opportunities, like non-league games or for like people like myself, like, to get those opportunities to go out there and play. And so I think it's cool, at least I think, to have support of everyone on the team that gets those opportunities in the league game, coming and playing and trying hard and taking it serious in the non-league ones too. So I think the mindset, we have a great mindset behind that. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. So what are some other thoughts, Nick? What do you think? What did we miss? What did I not bring up?
I don't know. I mean,
you watching the Laker game? How's that one going?
He's not watching, not listening.
No, I'm listening. I mean, last time I said, well, today I got done with work today. And it was, oh my God, what was it? Almost 60 degrees, I think, 55. And like, oh, I need to go play some catch. Unfortunately, obviously you were working, but I'm like, God, it's nice out. I want to play some baseball. And I think I checked MLB opening days, like 120 days away yet. I'm like, oh, I just want baseball to get here, but it'll come eventually.
Is Shohei coming to the Twins?
Yeah, I wish. I think it'll be the Braves or the Dodgers, but.
Nico, let's talk about you posting on Facebook during A's games on the bench.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. All right. Yep.
Oh, the one
light is on you, Mr.
There was the one time, I don't remember if it was Facebook or if it was Twitter, I made a post of some sort, I think about the Twins game while we were playing, and Chad Doe's commented on it and said something like, "Don't you have a game to be watching or something?" And I just responded back, "Touche," and put my phone away and started watching. Yeah, guilty as charged. I do like to. I have a very, very little attention span, as you can see by me wandering around at shortstop all the time and Alex yelling in the dugout for me to pay attention. And I'm easily distracted. But hey, I always know how many outs there are. Trust me, except maybe like once or twice.
Well, that's good. We'll take that.
I guess I'm not aware that Lucas Dose at third base while I'm running and end up getting him in a pickle and thrown out, though. That was bad. What game was that? I don't even remember what game that was.
Was that Cleveland?
Oh, no, it was a home game. It was because what it was, there was a grounder to short. And I was at second, so it was in front of me. And I just had in my mind, as soon as this guy throws it, I'm going to run to third. Because he's not gonna be able to throw it across the diamond in time and get me. And I just take off, and all of a sudden I realize, wait a second. Luke's literally at third base. I'm like, uh-oh. And then I knew we were hosed. And I'm like, yeah, that was embarrassing. Sorry, Al. Not going to do that one again. So I have a few blunders here and there, but trust me, I'm paying attention. It might not look like it.
Let me ask you this, Deco. What do you think the league standings are going to be at the end of the year next year? RVL.
Put me on the spot. Well, I mean, until someone dethrones Jordan, there's no reason not to put them on the top. I don't know. I don't want to be too nice or too harsh to anybody, but I mean,
just honest opinion. We're all about honesty here on the show.
Yes.
Boy, I don't know. I might get some hate mail. Jordan, Belle Plaine, has a lot of talent, and they always seem to like when they play to their best ability, they're a really good team.
On paper, they're a state team for sure.
Yeah, last year they played like it more often than they didn't, so I'll put them second. I think we got a really good shot of finishing better than St. Peter this year and Gaylord and Lee Sewer. And I don't know, like St. Clair, I'd argue we were just as good as them last year. It's just some reason we can't really get over the hump against them, But
I heard a rumor that their manager's not gonna be there anymore or something. Or he's got a high school head coaching job, so he might not manage there anymore. So I don't know what's going on with them.
So I'll put how about Arlington A is third, and then St. Peter. Let's go Gaylord, St. Peter, St. Clair, Lee Sewer. How's that, boys?
I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get some hate mail from Lee Sewer and St. Clair.
It's the thing about it is it's Jordan, and then everybody else is pretty even. Like Belle Plaine's getting there because their young guys are getting older and they're good. But like us, Gaylord, St. Clair, Lee Sewer, St. Peter, we're all kind of even.
Well, and Lee Sewer's got a lot of really young talent, but a lot of them are very good to the point it's like they're playing elsewhere and doing some other things for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't have any of that.
They should be, if those guys stick around, they should have a pretty bright future. But for now,
let me flip it to you, Luke. What are the end of the season standings look like for you?
There we go. Hit him with it.
Well, Arlington won.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh gosh. Probably almost the same as Deco's. But it's just that it'd be Jordan, Belle Plaine, or Jordan. Still believe in St. Clair because they have just such good young talent. So it'll be Jordan, Belle Plaine, St. Clair, us. It'd probably be us, Gaylord, St. Peter, Lee Sewer, but like in no order. Those four teams, or even you throw St.
We got
Clair
Jordan one. We got Jordan one,
yeah,
and then
Jordan's
after that, it's a crapshoot.
They're only gonna get better.
Jordan's the Ohio State, Michigan of the conference.
We're the Gophers. Gaylord's Wisconsin.
Who's Rutgers?
Rutgers. No, that would be like Indiana now.
I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff. Well, Luke, what are some other things you want to chat about Townball? What are some things that I missed that's really pressing that you have just waited till right now to want to bring up?
Oh, gosh, put me on the spot. What brought you to Townball other than Deco? Like, why did you think, I want to try this out?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I played my whole life, summer ball and everything all the way up through high school. So graduated high school in 2015 from Rocky Mountain Lutheran out in Colorado. So shout out if anyone's listening. Probably not, but that's okay. 2015, and then I came out here for college. So I went to Bethany Lutheran here in Mankato. And in my head, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna play. I think I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna try it out. And I got out there, and I think one of the first few fall practices really kind of put into perspective like how little I think I knew going into it. I kind of was relying on I don't know, instincts and stuff, but like my talent wasn't great. Not that I'm great now. I mean, I'm definitely not, but like definitely like not back then. And the two positions that I played was pitcher and first base. And coach basically pulled me aside and was like, just with the positions that you play, you're probably not going to get any playing time. Which I appreciated that. Like obviously it's not easy to hear. I mean, you do something your whole life and you get told that. It's not easy at first, but definitely was very appreciative of hearing that. So I stuck on as a student manager. So I didn't play baseball, obviously, the whole 4 years that I was there. And then graduating from Bethany in 2019, going back home, I didn't play there. So it had been some time. And then I remember talking about like, wanting to move back out to Minnesota. Because I moved back home after graduation, wanted to move back out here, had great friends, and and I think Nick, had kind of just mentioned like, have you thought about like playing baseball again? And I'm like, I don't know. Like it had been so long, and obviously, Luke, I mean, playing sports like baseball isn't just a sport that you can not do for like 6 years and then pick it up
No.
one day and it's like, oh, you're
Baseball,
gonna be
hitting a baseball is the hardest thing. But Deion Sanders said that this year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go
and
2 weeks
that
without hitting a baseball, and it's like you've never done it before.
Right. And so that was a big mindset. Like I play catch every once in a while, but I hadn't really seriously played baseball in like 6 years. And I was, I just figured I'd try it out. And so that's kind of how I got here to Arlington. I mean, it's it was a great opportunity. And coming in my first year, I mean, you could definitely tell I had not touched a baseball in like 6 years because I was so bad. I couldn't throw a strike to save my life. If you looked at me for the first time, which like everyone in that dugout did, and like fair, like I think, I kind of mentioned on the last podcast, like, you know, everyone on that team has seen each other play to some degree at some point before, whether it's, little league, high school, Legion, whatever. Everyone has somewhat of a basis of how everyone else is. So like if someone has a bad game, it's like, that's okay. We know what he can do. He'll go 4 for 4 with a bomb the next game. Like, I didn't have that. So like whatever going in, what everyone saw how I played was just how they thought I played, which is totally fair. I mean, if you don't have anything to judge someone on, you're only going to know what you see. And it was brutal. It was a brutal first year, and just so bad. Just so bad. But no, I kept working at it, and obviously after that, you have to do a lot of tinkering and figured some things out, and I'm a little less bad now than I was a couple years ago. But long-winded answer, that's kind of how I got out here, and I don't know. I don't intend taking my talents to South Beach anytime soon. So,
Luke, I don't know if you're aware, but Lucas qualifies to play for us by like 0.2 miles.
Really?
Our house, if we literally lived like by Walmart, he would not qualify, but we live just close enough to Arlington where he qualifies. It's like, as the crow flies, it's what, like 30 miles maybe? 20? No, 40? I don't know, whatever it is. He's like 0.2 below that. So he just barely qualified to play for us.
I got a little trivia here for you.
Oh boy.
So obviously Caleb led the team in average. He batted .516.
Jesus. 516.
Might have been more than that, or a little more or less. I can't remember when these stats were handed to me. Who was second on the team in average?
Second on the team in average? Wasn't me.
Yeah, definitely wasn't me. I don't know. I mean, natural instinct is to just go with like an Austin or like a Lucas Bullard or a Lucas Dose, honestly.
At that point, when I had the stats, it was Dan Chess. Shout out Dan Chess. He was batting 500 at the time. That must have been like 16, 17 games in when I have those stats.
Yeah, he was the pinch hit all-star there for a while.
The pinch hit god.
Yeah. Were you the only one with a bomb?
Yeah.
Solid.
You don't remember me hitting mine or what?
No, I don't.
Some.
Interesting. You guys must have been sick that game. I parked a foul ball pretty far this year in Cleveland, I think. That was pretty sweet.
Cleveland, that's like where Hall of Fame Lucas Dorton comes out. First career hit by pitch.
Yep.
Do a couple scoreless there. Cleveland just brings the best out of you.
What can I say?
Lucas, what's the over-under for your hits next season?
Me?
Yeah.
We'll set the over-under at a half a hit.
Oh, half a hit.
Let's set the over-under at a half a hit. Yep. Yep.
That's great.
Do you have one?
I have a hit.
That's Cleveland.
It was like my second ever game. We were playing Cleveland, and it's a high fastball that I don't know, it was an okay
That's
hit.
Right.
Ball
That's
dropped
right.
right in front of the left fielder, and and jokingly I was like, "Oh, give me the ball," and I was like not actually expecting that, and then like they actually got the ball, and I'm like, well, I don't think you really had to do that, but that's fair.
If you're an everyday player, I mean, no disrespect to you at all as a hitter, but like, say you're going through a slump, and you got some Joe Schmo off the bench. He does not look that great at the plate.
Yeah,
and Austin cracks a line drive, and you're like, what can I do?
Yeah. No disrespect at all. I am not a good hitter by any means. So I 1,000% understand what you're saying. Oh man.
The next time you get a hit, I should just stop the game and be like, hey, we need that ball. Because even though it'll be your second career hit, a lot of people probably don't even remember your first. So they'd be like, wait, Lucas just got his first hit. He's been on this team for like 18 years.
Yeah, another 3 years and we'll get hit number 3. No, it's fun stuff. Who's the biggest inspiration for you, Luke, for your baseball fandom? Is it your dad?
Yeah, probably dad. I'd say just dad, watching dad and uncles play bat bowling for them and seeing how successful they were and just seeing how they play the game and all the time they put into the park, just trying to fill their shoes, basically.
I'd say you're doing a pretty good job at it. Yeah. Good stuff. Good. Well, I think that's about all I have for the show today. Yeah. Luke, Nick, anything else you guys wanted to bring up?
No, I'm sorry my camera didn't work. I'm sure Dan Chess will take a picture of my frozen face there for a minute and put that in the team chat. But
No
Sorry,
worries. We got to
Nick.
hear you. We got to hear you. That's just as good. Awesome. Well, definitely thanks for coming on, Luke. That was a great time. I know technology stuff can be a little frustrating at times, but we certainly appreciate
trying
you
to
and
get
caring
on
for it.
this ancient Skype here.
We'll graduate to Zoom one of these days or something.
Or Teams, yeah.
Anyways, well, if you want to follow either of us, Nick or I on Twitter, you can follow Nick at Doetkott, myself at Lucas_Dorton. And if you want to follow the podcast as DND_podcast, so definitely follow that. Luke, if the fans were just so intrigued by you today, where can they find a Twitter handle or something for you at?
It's at Dos_Lucas. But, everyone go follow the Arlington A and see what we do.
Yes.
Hey.
Follow us. Come to the game. Support
Yes.
us. Buy lots of beer, lots of cheeseburgers.
Turkey burgers.
Come see the beautiful park.
Yes. Come to Iowa, too. Come to Iowa.
Yes.
Watch us play in the
Come to
Field of
Iowa.
Dreams.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's what we told everybody at the parade, Lucas, with our big A train that you're too busy being on a date to go to.
Oh boy, yeah. Thanks for exposing me like that. Appreciate it.
Had to.
No, absolutely though, and I said it the last podcast, and I'll say it again. If you have the opportunity to go to a Townball game, if you live in Minnesota, and wherever you live, there's a Townball team near you, I can promise it. We would love for you to make the trip to Arlington, wherever you are. But just to get to a game, I mean, like we said, Townball is just baseball at its purest form, and it's people that are playing because they love to play. Obviously, no one's playing to lose. You're playing to win, and it can get competitive. But it's just at the end of the day, a lot of people that love playing for the love of the game. And it's a great time. Some great experiences out there, folks. So certainly do it up. Certainly do it up. But anyways, as for Luke, Nick, and myself, that is all we have for episode 76. And until next time, we are out.